When you first, I don't know which you read first, the script or the book. Which story came first?
The book.
And what was it about it that sort of captured your imagination that you felt then you wanted to helm it as a project?
I think it was the story of Dominika, the character that Jen plays. I think she's a very unlikely hero, and I love reluctant heroes and lonely heroes, and to see that journey of hers was really interesting, and I think also just a fascinating way into the spy world. I thought it was a much more human way into the spy world.
And I imagine then when you've read this, you've worked with Jennifer before. Had you always pegged her to be your leading lady?
Yeah, when I read the script, I thought of Jen instantly. And so as soon as I finished the book, I actually called her immediately and pitched her. I said, hey, hypothetically, would you be into doing something like this? And she said, yeah, that sounds good. And so then, the studio and I and the writer of the screenplay went off and developed the movie with her in mind. I still wasn't sure she was going to do it because, some of the content in the movie, I wasn't sure she was prepared to do that. But then she read the script and signed on.
I would imagine as well, because you've worked together in the past, you've built a trust, and so when she's expected to do scenes that are a little uncomfortable, you're there working with her and giving her that kind of foundation.
Yeah, well, I think that certainly helped, but what also I think helped was that as soon as she signed on, I drove straight over to her house. I remember this. I drove straight over to her house, and we spent a couple hours in her backyard starting to have those conversations, because it's like, okay, if you're going to do this, we're going to start to communicate about it very frankly, very bluntly right now. So nobody's tiptoeing around everything or anything. We're not afraid of talking about anything. So we started talking about how those scenes fit in the story, how to be as vigilant as possible about it, also what the shooting is going to be like, all of that, so that we just get it out in the air so we wouldn't be nervous.
And you've got also an amazing supporting cast as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about working with them and why they were your choices?
Yeah, they were all my first choices. Joel Edgerton, I think, is one of the finest working actors, of his age right now. And, I think he always brings kind of an honor and an honesty to his performances. And I thought he'd be really good with Jen. And so I was super happy to bring him in. Matthias, he was actually a later casting decision because for a while the character he played was actually a little older, and we actually skewed the age down to make the dynamic with his character and Jen's character a little more interesting. I don't want to give anything away. But then I've been a fan of his since Bullhead and Rust and Bone, and he's so versatile and dynamic. And Charlotte Rampling, is an icon, and I wanted her for Matron from the beginning, and Jeremy Irons, another icon and fantastic actor. So to get this group together was, just a dream.